Back with another episode of the Fly Report. Hi, I'm Jessica Fisher. Today we are going to be speaking with Rani Plaut, the CEO of AIR, who is beaming in from Tel Aviv. Rani, welcome. Good to see you. So, Rani, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so, I know AIR's been on a pretty exciting trajectory, right? So in September of 2025, we know that the two-seater eVTOL received its FAA experimental airworthiness
Mhm.
certificate. You guys are currently maintaining production facilities in both Florida near Palm Beach, right?
Yes.
And Tel Aviv.
Mhm.
Can you speak a little bit to, can you start out by just updating us on the latest with respect to the two-seater and the unmanned cargo vehicle?
Sure. So first of all, we started flying with the production version. In an aircraft, you start by flying a fully operational prototype, which is the one that received the airworthiness back in 2025. And
Yep.
we this April, about 2 months ago, we started flying with the production version. The production version, first we started flying with the cargo unmanned product, and we are going to debut the manned or piloted version in Oshkosh this year, in July.
Awesome. So the production vehicle that you've been flying is the cargo vehicle at
Yeah.
this point.
Hmm.
Cool. And then we're gonna see we'll see the live version at Oshkosh
Yes.
of the two-seater.
Again, we're talking about two products, and actually they are one. I mean, the product is the platform itself. The hardware and software are the same. The only difference between the unmanned and the manned version is having seats and screens and the stick. But 85 to 90% of the platform is the same.
Right. And I know that, we had heard a little bit about, how a little bit about the smart aircraft
Yeah.
system. That's what you guys are calling it, right? Where
Yes.
basically it's pretty revolutionary where you're using the same smart avionics system. And
Hmm.
I don't know why I used quotes because that's what we're calling it's a
Yes.
smart
It's
avionics system, right?
avionics. It's not avionics.
What?
It's avionic or avionics, not avionics.
Right, exactly. Avionics. I don't know why that was in quotes, but okay.
Yeah.
So we're combined. So you guys are going to be combining the avionics for the personal vehicle and the cargo vehicle, which is something new. Can you speak to us a little bit about
Sure.
that?
Yes, so the concept of air is around simplicity. I mean, the- from the cradle of humanity, people have been dreaming of flying. Right, in the Greek mythology, you had Icarus, Daedalus. Peter Pan is flying. When you're happy and you're dreaming at night, you're dreaming of flying, right?
Yep.
Um, Mary Poppins, Tinkerbell. I can go on and on and on.
Right.
Um, so the desire is there for millennia, and we think that the gap is the simplicity gap or complexity gap.
Okay.
Aviation in general became complex, and never dumbed down to the mere mortal to operate an aircraft. So the aircraft is extremely simplified. And touching on the point of the avionics, we are mimicking what you have in your brain, or any organism has a brain. And I'll give you an example. When you're sitting down now, you're not thinking about pulling some muscles or stabilizing yourself in the chair. You're someone who sits down and doesn't fall off the chair. Um, and
If
above
I'm
this,
lucky.
yes, and above this, you have higher functions.
Yep.
So we have separated the avionics, the flight control system, to those two or even three layers. So the basic layer is just reflex-based stabilization with no specific data. So, for example, we are not taking care of altitude or speed. We're just stabilizing you with a very, very small piece of code. And the aircraft itself doesn't know if above this layer you are sitting down with a stick or a computer with autonomous function or a remote operation. Okay, so the basic aircraft doesn't even know who's flying it.
Got it. So basically, if I'm understanding the right way, the aircraft's going to fly the same way whether there's a drone operating it or whether there's a person operating it. It doesn't really care. Is that accurate or no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, cool,
Mhm.
awesome. And so and I know just to get into it, for the unmanned drone that you guys have currently flying and that's currently operational,
Mhm.
I know it's rare for a cargo vehicle to hold more than 500 pounds on board in a single aircraft. Is that right? And you guys can do 550 pounds of cargo.
The gap is even larger. I mean, if you look at things that actually carry things on in real life, normally it goes up to 100 pounds of payloads, maybe 150 pounds of payload, but not much more. Um, some of the large drone manufacturers are claiming to have 400 pounds, but nobody's actually flying it. And the companies that are flying it never fly it for a long range.
Okay,
We are the first company to introduce 100 miles, 550 pounds in an fully operational aircraft.
cool. So, and if there are, I'm not sure if this is something that that we can speak to, but some of the current missions that these cargo drones are flying, can you give us some insight into what kind of
Use
cargo
case.
this is carrying at the moment?
Yeah,
What?
the use case.
Yeah, of course.
So there are many use cases. The cases that we are working on are either contested logistics, so moving stuff for defense customers, um, places where you would have used a Humvee or a pickup truck, but when you say contested, it means challenging.
Yep.
So when you move stuff, either food or water or medical supply or other stuff that is needed, in a contested logistics, you have to guard it and you have to move it with people, and then there is a risk. Or you use a helicopter, which is extremely expensive and dangerous for the operators, the pilots, and so forth. So there is the use case of moving stuff from point to point in the defense sector, and there is the same thing in the civilian sector. So in logistics, they call it the middle mile. So moving between hubs. This is not to the final customer, but moving packages and cargo between hubs.
Okay. And anything and when it comes to you mentioned about the cost using Air's cargo vehicle versus typical cost, right? To use an aerial vehicle. How much less does that cost per mile or overall cost for to move on a single charge come in at?
Yeah. So first we started using the term VEV because eVTOL is kind of dorky.
It's kind
Uh,
of what?
dorky, or
Dorky. Okay, got it.
maybe clunky is a better word. VEV stands for Vertical Electric Vehicle.
Okay. I like that.
Um, now, when you compare moving stuff with a helicopter to moving things with an electric vehicle, there is a factor to. It depends on what you count because different people are calculating if it includes the maintenance or doesn't include the maintenance. But generally speaking, we are talking about a factor to 6x to 10x.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
if the cost of a helicopter is $600, we will go for $70, $75 per hour.
That's awesome. Cool. And are there any specific missions that you've been working on recently that you'd want to talk about or maybe for another time?
Um, we
Anything
are
interesting?
there has been a lot of communications now with the users. In the Hormuz Straits, for example, there are a lot of applications between ships. So when you move
Okay.
things, um, we have the same thing, by the way, with our private customers that for the piloted version. Um, water is a big driver for going up in the air. So
Right.
if you have a bay and you're driving along the coastline of the bay is 2 hours or 1.5 hour in traffic. So going across the bay over the body of water is in most cases 6 to 7 minutes.
Yep.
So in a very, very weird way, water is the driver for the aerial option.
A lot of these, right. Okay, so right, you're buying time. Cool. So now, and moving past the applications of the cargo vehicles, the two-seater that just got the experimental certification, what's going to happen next, both in Israel and the United States? And what can everyone expect to see at Oshkosh?
The what we show in Oshkosh is the first piloted production version.
Cool.
It looks awesome. It's
Yeah.
um, it's like a Porsche or a Pagani. It's very, very cool. It's very spacious. The user interface is the simplified possible. So we don't have pedals, we don't have a throttle, we just have one stick. You can fly the plane from both sides, both seats. So the stick is in the middle, and if you are right-handed, you're sitting here, and if you're left-handed, you're sitting in the other seat.
That's awesome. Yep,
That's
that's
really
great.
awesome. There
Yep.
is one big screen and another one for as a backup, but that's it. You don't have like a big panel of many, many instruments. You just have one screen and one stick. Uh, it looks really, really awesome. So it's very exciting to show it to the public.
Cool. So let's say that I have a number of hours, but let's say I had 0 hours and I wanted to. I don't know why I just had to say that, but let's say I had 0 hours, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to learn and I wanted to fly Air's VEV because 'cause we're not gonna call it an eVTOL right now. What would I need to do to get started? How could I learn? How many hours do I need? What would be the steps to be able to fly one of these?
Well, there is the practical answer and there is the certificated answer.
Okay.
In terms of certification by the FAA, the target is to get at the end to something which they call an SVO, Simplified Vehicle Operator, which correlates to SPL, Sports Pilot License,
Okay.
which is somewhere below 20 hours of practice.
Right.
Because these are completely new types of devices, we have to develop what is called an SFAR, so a specific rating which will follow, generally speaking, the PPL, the private pilot licensing, which is about
Mhm.
35 hours of practice. Now, this is regarding the formal thing, the formal process. Frankly, after 2 hours, you can fly it. It's not a big deal. I don't know if you operated a drone, a filming drone, but it's hard to crash it. It's because it takes care of itself and doesn't allow you to do things that are hazardous to yourself or the drone.
Got it. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so that explains that. What haven't I asked you about that's interesting that we should talk about?
Um, the general approach of the company of Air is not about the piloted version or the not piloted version. It's about what I spoke about in the Greek mythology. It's the desire to fly.
Yep.
And the car has become a commodity. Nobody ever in the history of mankind dreamt about moving in a metal box at 60 miles per hour.
Right.
It was never a dream. Okay? Flying was always the dream,
Yep.
and we think that there is a very treacherous road or vector that industries are getting locked into, and aviation, for whatever reason, is locked in a vicious circle of either the high complexity F-35 or Airbus 380, or the little guys, which are a little bit crappy. And we think there is a lot to learn from automotive. And what we are doing is harnessing our patent of simplified, long range, high payload aerial vehicle, which is vertical,
Yep.
together with the automotive approach to manufacturing, which allows us to produce up to 10,000 units per year in a cost that will be half the price of a regular aircraft. and this can go to agricultural spraying and first responders and firefighting and landing on your boat and going to the office or taking your spouse to a picnic or golfing. It's about moving stuff. A car is a box that moves stuffs on the ground safely and economically efficient.
Yep.
We are aspiring to do the same in the air.
In the air. Awesome. Well, it's really exciting. I hope that we get to see you at Oshkosh.
You will?
Yep, good. And thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was
Yeah, it was
really
great
fun.
seeing you.